So we're continuing our look at factoring polynomials. Now we've got another difficult one for us. So first thing we want to do whenever we get a polynomial is we want to put it in decreasing order of degree. So our highest degree term comes first, and then we go down from there. So I can rewrite this as negative 4t squared minus 16t plus 128. So notice that because we don't have a coefficient of 1 in front of our t squared, we can also do some factoring so we can get that way. So what I can do is I can factor out negative 4 from this whole thing. So try that out, pause the video, and let's see what you get. So if we factor out negative 4, I'll get negative 4 onto t squared plus 4t minus 32. Now I'm looking for two numbers. They have to add to make positive 4, and they have to multiply to make negative 32. So I know that I'm going to get a binomial here, t and t. So let's do an analysis. So they have to multiply to make a negative. So the only way to multiply to make a negative is one is positive and one is negative. And the larger one's going to be positive because they add to make a positive number. Well, two of the numbers that multiply to make negative 32 are, well, negative 8 and 4, or positive 8 and negative 4. The ones that fit are 8 and negative 4. And you can check that adding these together definitely gives you 4. So our value is negative 4 onto t plus 8 onto t minus 4. So let's try another one. So we've got 72 minus x squared minus x. Now there's nothing to factor out in this one, but we do have to rewrite it in proper order. So we got negative x squared minus x plus 72. But here's our problem. We need the coefficient to be a positive one. So it turns out we can indeed factor something out. What we're going to do is we're going to factor out a negative sign. So we're going to get x squared plus x minus 72. So our trick for factoring trinomials only works if we have this positive 1 as a coefficient. So now I have two numbers that I need to find. They have to add to make positive 1 and multiply to make negative 72. So again, let's do our analysis. If I'm looking for numbers that multiply to make a negative, one has to be positive and one has to be negative. And in this case, the bigger number has to be positive so that when we add them together, it's still positive. Well, two numbers that multiply to make 72, that's 9 times 8. So what fits is positive 9 and negative 8. And if we add these together, we definitely get 1. So our final factored form is the negative of x plus 9 onto x minus 8. So let's try another one. So here's another tough one. First step is we want to rewrite this in descending power. So I get negative 7 x squared plus 35x, plus 35x minus 42. Now remember that we want to have a leading coefficient of 1. So I have to factor out this negative 7. So let's see what we get. So pause the video here and try it out yourself. What we're going to find is after factoring out negative 7, we get negative 7 onto x squared minus 5x plus 6. So factoring this, I know it's going to be a binomial times another binomial, and with negative 7 out in front. So negative 7, first binomial, second binomial. So use your trick and analysis to solve this one for yourself. So what we find is that because they have to multiply to make a positive number, but add to make a negative number, both of these have to be negative. So we're looking for two negative numbers that multiply to make positive 6 and add to make negative 5. The only two such numbers that work are negative 3 and positive 2, giving us our final answer of negative 7 onto x minus 3 onto x minus 2.